Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool Fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man sign. I'm here today with Grizz Khan. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing very well, my friend. I'm doing very well. Hope you're doing very well today, and hope everyone watching and listening is doing very well today as well. It's Friday out in London, and it's sunny and it's beautiful. And yeah, we will get into all things Liverpool. That might be a little bit down right now, but let's see how we get on.
No worries at all. I'm sure once we absolutely trash Man United over the weekend, your spirits will cheer right up.
Absolutely. There's nothing better than getting your spirits up, than beating, A, winning games of football, and B, if those games of football are against Man United.
Absolutely, and especially this particular match means more because Arne Slot, our new Dutch coach, coming in against Erik ten Hag, his fellow compatriot, who now has pride on the stake, right? Because he's been there in the role for a while. As Arne Slot, give him some credit. He's come in, he's new to Premier League, new to the team. If we turn them over at home and they've got to come out and attack, how much damage would that do to Man United's fan base and their pride and ego?
Oh, it would be massive. You know, for so many years we've heard that one of the reasons why we are so much better than them is because of our coach. Jurgen Klopp. Oh, they've got a fantastic world-class manager. And then they obviously hired a Dutch bald. I don't know why people have to mention the bald part, but I guess I'm eligible to mention that part. So people can't say, why am I mentioning it? But yeah, look, they hired a Dutch manager, and then we hire a Dutch ball manager, and now it's kind of, oh, well, you're going to see how it's like to have an inferior manager. And so kind of opposition fans, including Man United fans, are looking for the downfall of Liverpool because no more Klopp. So it's interesting without Klopp how we do, especially in these big games. Hope he, and I'm sure he absolutely understands the rivalry. So if he's able to put one over his compatriot, fellow countryman, it'll be absolutely huge for us, and a massive dent, as you said, for his ego and for his pride. Massive dent.
Absolutely. And speaking of the match itself, where do you see the match being won or lost from Liverpool's perspective?
Oh God, look, it's been a very solid start from us. Okay, I'm not one of these guys that gets carried away too easily. And I don't get down too easily as well. Sure. I like to stay in the middle and look, opinions and assumptions and theories on the team and the club change accordingly to what we're witnessed with, what we see, what we witness, what we have as evidence in front of us. And so far, the evidence suggests we're better going forward in terms of our efficiency, and defensively we're better at sort of dealing with counter-attacks and transitions. But this will be a much firmer test than obviously Ipswich was and Brentford was. I was blessed and honoured enough to be at both games. And I did feel a sense of comfort in terms of it wasn't a basketball game. I wasn't biting my nails. The opposition didn't have chance after chance like they were last season. Alisson didn't have to make 3-4 wonder saves every game like he did last season. I hope that continues. And in order for that to continue, our midfield will have to have a good stranglehold over theirs. Look, their midfield isn't the strongest. Casemiro, Mainu and Bruno probably will be the makeup of their midfield. There doesn't seem to be much balance in there. But then our one's a bit untried as well. Gravenberch is playing as the number 6 alongside McAllister and Szoboszlai, who's being used as more of a number 10 or attacking midfielder, and with McAllister and Szoboszlai as a base. I think that will be the key, my friend. I think the key will be in midfield if we can sort of forge control over theirs. I'd like to think our forwards are more efficient. I know we didn't prove it last 3 meetings, but sure. I'd like to think our forwards are more efficient than theirs.
Absolutely, yeah. And on the basis of our kind of firepower as well, one thing that I think is going to be particularly prominent is Arne Slot's controlled style football. We play that extra pass, we keep possession, right? That's going to be frustrating for the home fans, when Man United are chasing shadows, chasing that extra player, only to have the off-the-ball runner, perhaps a Trent, perhaps a Szoboszlai, maybe Jota linking things up. It's the unseen threat and the extra man when we get in behind the line. I think Man United fans are going to be very, very frustrated with the fact that they're going to be chasing the shadows, and when the ball is released in and behind, I also don't think the defence is actually well placed to cope with that hidden threat, that off the ball run from the extra man. And we have the pace. We have a Lucho Diaz who's on form. We have a Mo Salah who started the season very, very well, scoring and assisting. We've got Jota, the slotter, connecting things together with his intelligence as well. I think the off the ball movement is going to absolutely bedazzle them. And as you rightly mentioned, that midfield is the facilitator of all the things good, right? Everything goes through the midfield as well. But I think also the balls from deep. If you think of all the kind of goal scorers that we have, Trent Alexander-Arnold being able to find your Jota, being able to find your Lucho Diaz, being able to find your Salah. How high a goal-scoring game do you think this is going to end up being? What's your prediction?
Yeah, look, I absolutely agree with you. And I think you make a very, very good point about in terms of how Slot's game plan will be more controlled than a Klopp game plan. Last couple of games, we haven't... See, it's so funny. It's so weird. Again, I was at a lot of the games last season. I think I missed the Anfield one, but I was at the 2 away games where we had chance after chance after chance.
Should have won.
But it's weird. How shall I explain this? I never felt in control of the game. I was saying to my mates, we're making chances so easily, but we're not in control. If you know what I mean. So it's and so I think you make a very good point when you said Slot's game plan will be all about frustrating them and trying to prize them out even more. Klopp didn't really try to prize them out. They were just camped and we just bombarded them. This will be a game plan based on patience and as you said, seeing if they come out and then we exploit. But again, it'll be interesting and intriguing to see if they've got the confidence to come out. Because they didn't when Klopp was here. They didn't last few games. Obviously, on the back of the 7-0, they were traumatized. But it'll be interesting to see if they have the bravery or the confidence, I guess, in his philosophy to come out. I don't think they will. I think again, their best game plan they will think is to camp, and then use Rashford's pace. Use Garnacho if he starts, So, look, I think there's going to be goals. I definitely think there's going to be chances. Absolutely, it's going to be chances. And I'd like to think the X factor for us, and I don't know if this was going to be one of your questions. I might be jumping ahead, but I think one of the X factors I think will be hopefully the starting of Diogo Jota. We haven't had him starting in games against them recently. And with the amount of chances I'm envisaging, and you're envisaging as well, I'd like to think Jota will be the X factor.
Yep, to unlock the pick, to get that first crucial goal, to break the kind of ice. And I really, really go along the lines of it. And one thing that I really, really enjoy about Slot's system against the bigger teams as well, and it's yet to be seen, how he performs against the top 6, because we massively underperformed last season in terms of, just not getting the points there. I know Luis Diaz got a goal ruled off against Tottenham. Trent Alexander-Arnold should have scored against Arsenal on the counter-attack. Doku Kung Fu kicked McAllister in the chest. But, past is the past, but for this particular lineup in this season, I would say Arne Slot's tactics is more disruption and displacement of the opposition. So he invites our players, say, come on, get the ball first. We're going to keep the ball, rotate the ball, come press us. Even Andy Robertson along the back, holding the ball an extra second or two to try to displace the opposition. But one thing that's really, really obvious for me is the fact that there's so much goal-scoring potential throughout the whole team, right? We know the front three can score. They've all scored, in fact, already this season. Jota, Lucho Diaz, Mo Salah. But behind them, McAllister can score a goal. Szoboszlai can score a goal on the odd hit, displacing the opposition and Gravenberch getting there. Gravenberch can score a goal. We know Van Dijk can score. Even Alisson Becker can score a goal. Trent can score a goal. How good a feeling is that, right? There's goals throughout the whole team. And how often before we relied on a Gerrard or a Torres to break the deadlock. Maybe our wingers weren't really up there, but we've got threats everywhere, man. And even when you look at the bench, compared, Ugarte can't make the match, by the way, not registered in time. Look at the firepower we can bring off the bench, and then look at Man United's. Doesn't that give you such an air of confidence?
Yeah, look, it does. There's absolutely no doubt that in terms of firepower, obviously with the most recent addition of Chiesa as well, who probably won't make the squad, but in terms of Gakpo and Nunes not having much of a look in even. Young Harvey Elliott, we know how pivotal or how pivotal his impact was off the bench last season so many times. Who remembers Crystal Palace, coming off at Crystal Palace
Yeah.
against Spurs last season as well. Near the end of the season, a cracking goal as well. So we know he's got a strike on him, and I agree with you. I think the threats not just from our front three, are threats absolutely from any angle, any part of the pitch, and it's not even it doesn't even mean a goal threat. We have creative threats from all over the pitch, and obviously the biggest of them all, apart from the attacking midfield, is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Is there anyone more creative from a defensive, quote-unquote, position than Trent Alexander-Arnold?
Deep, yes.
An absolute lethal weapon. So, look, it all bodes well. But as I said, it's all about being efficient, and we haven't been in the last 3 games, which has resulted in us being winless in the last 3 games. And nothing would be more sweeter than to put that right. And as I said, I'm not one of these guys that's looking for a thrashing. Oh, let's go there and beat them 4-0, 5-0. Go there, get 3 points, and then we can banter and joke until the next meeting with them.
Exactly. We can't be too overconfident here. Everything can be spoken on paper, but it's the actual performance on the pitch and the players' ability to kind of facilitate the coach's tactical mindset, or actually perform and do their job on the pitch. And with that being said, Man United they will create chances. There's no doubt at home, right? With the pace in and behind, if a through ball, if someone slips up, or Rashford or Garnacho or Ahmad or someone, will create the opportunity to have a shot. But that's where you're hoping that the final line, whether it's Van Dijk or Ibu Konate or Alisson, hold firm. There's no dodgy deflection, no Fernandes, looping shot that goes into an empty net, kind of thing like that. I still feel, do you have the confidence in this Liverpool team, even when we go behind, that we can come back into it? They get that mentality to keep calm, stay with a plan, and efficiently go about your job and do what you're doing, because if you get in the game-winning scenarios enough times, the goals will come. Do you have a confidence in this team?
Yeah, look, this is one of the unknowns. I think it's fair to say it's one of the unknowns with a new manager, with a new coach, with a new setup. We know. We absolutely have evidence and facts that under Slot we were magnificent in the situations that you described. How many times, too many times for my liking, did we go behind last season and have to turn it around, use the energy of our fans if it was at home, or the willpower and the attitude if it was away from home? I don't want to go through that anymore. I don't want to go through that anymore. It's draining. Honestly, it's draining. I'm not as young as I used to be. I've already got too many greys, man. Liverpool need to help me in my older age now. And I think Slot's the man who's come to sort of, salvage our sort of, or lower our blood pressure on that level, But yeah, it is one of the unknowns in terms of we haven't gone behind yet. In fact, we haven't even conceded a goal yet. So it'll be interesting. Again, God forbid that we don't fall behind, but it'll be interesting to see how we develop and how we change the game plan, because me and you have been discussing about the patience and the extra pass. Obviously, as I said, we don't want to experience it, but there will be moments where we need to see how we adapt by going behind as opposed to being in control and ahead, like what we've witnessed so far. But I hope that doesn't happen on Sunday.
Indeed. And one thing that I'm thinking is going to be particularly interesting to see is we congest the centre of the park under Arne Slot, right? Even Trent sometimes inverts there. The midfield closes up, the three go tight-knit unit together. Jota comes to the top of the diamond, congests the middle of the pitch because he likes to play through the middle before going out wide. We know, therefore, Man United will be forced out wide, and they want to go out wide anyway. So you'd hope that we can manage the expectations when Man United are out wide. This is where we trap them. This is where we contain them. This is where we force the press, bring them into that zone. And when we turn over the ball, our counter-attack has been really ruthless and really effective this season. And they've got new defenders. They've got Baptiste de Ligt in the back. They've got Mazraoui in the back as well. I'm sure Delo will play. It's probably going to be Maguire and de Ligt or someone like that in the background. I don't really think that they're so well placed to handle the transitional game as effectively. And isn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't Bruno Fernandes played on a wing in the last few games against Liverpool? They've deployed him out wide and tried to shut up shop in the middle as well. So when they go tactically head-to-head, if it's a stalemate, what would you like to see kind of being done to pick up the lock? Would it be a Gakpo coming on for Diaz to cross the ball, loop it into the back with power? Would it be a Nunez for pace in and behind, the unpredictability, the chaos kind of gamble? Would it be a Harvey Elliott, sitting in a 10 position trying to probe? What would be your kind of go-tos if the match is tight coming 70 minutes?
Pretty much you've nailed it. Exactly the three players that you mentioned. Darwin Núñez is a massive pitch, Old Trafford, and obviously, if we manage to control the game like we envisage and what like we've discussed and we've spoken about, and made them run and chase the ball for 65, 70 minutes, then we know that the fitness levels of this Man United team, and of course the new players, ain't optimum level right now. And so therefore you'd like to think that a fresh Nunes, a fresh Gakpo and Elliott sort of picking holes in there would be the difference makers in the last quarter if needed. Obviously we hope that it's not needed and we're comfortably 2-0, 3-0 up. But their game plan, I agree with you, will be all about sort of trying to isolate Rashford versus Trent one-on-one, trying to create one-on-ones on the other side as well in terms of probably Garnacho against Robertson, or maybe Diallo actually plays. But I am intrigued to see who they start through the middle. Actually, it might be Rashford through the middle, Garnacho and Diallo, because their players injured. Højlund is injured.
Out, yeah.
Xerxes, I don't know, will start. Maybe actually he might be a starter. But I'd like to think we've got enough at the back to control that, and especially, and again, going back to the key battles, it will be important. So Gravenberch to sort of have more of a defensive head on, because Bruno, we can say what we want about him, but he does pop up in games.
Yeah.
He's a moments player.
Creative.
He doesn't have great games, but he has great moments. We can't deny that, even as Liverpool fans. He does have moments, and he tends to have moments against us, and I hate it. I don't want him to have any more moments against us, So, but yeah, in terms for us, Nunes, Gakpo, Elliott, there's a lot of firepower there, and obviously soon to be Chiesa for us to change a game if needed. So yeah, looking at the bench, you'd feel confident even going into the last quarter that we can make a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm very, very keen, especially with Chiesa coming in. I did a video on the fact that Chiesa coming in gives you that real traditional winger who has the ability to go around the outside, and it's absolutely crucial that you be able to change the system up in the slot system, because he loves his wing play. For example, we know Mo Salah cuts inside, Lucho Diaz cuts inside, you get Mo Salah as close to goal as possible. But if Chiesa is the one that can go around the outside, around the back, old school style, pull it back, cause havoc and a threat, perhaps the kind of Ben Doak, but a higher caliber Ben Doak who can give you a 10 out of 10 performance one week. And he can shoot on both feet. Diogo Jota is the only other one in the attacking third who can shoot with both feet and do it. Sadio Mane could have done it. But apart from that, everyone is so very, very one-footed. Salah with the left, Nunes with the right, Gakpo with his right foot as well. So Chiesa being able to offer the shooting ability, he can't just be shifted to one side, because he'll absolutely murk them up. So I really think he is a super, super intelligent signing. But speaking of signings, transfer deadline days, are you optimistic of anyone coming in, or is that business done for now and then put the feelers in for the January window?
Yeah, no, I think that's business done now. I think it's been an underwhelming. There's no point sort of dressing it up in terms of anything apart from underwhelming. In isolation, two fantastic deals. Future-proofing a goalkeeper for 25 million, one of the most sought-after goalkeepers in European football. Fantastic deal in its own right. Picking up, like you say, a world-class Italian, fully Italian international who just won the Euros, well, not just, sorry, in 2021, was probably the outstanding player of the tournament. Amazing. One of my favourite attackers in 2021. For buying him for the price of a Bobby Clark who played probably, it's crazy. It's crazy in terms of business sense, in terms of opportunistic buy. It's a very good deal, both of them, fantastic. Yeah. But unfortunately, from my point of view, and look, everyone has their own opinions and everything, and people that listen to my rubbish or watch my rubbish will know that I don't like to go, as I said, extreme on either side. I'm not one of these, FSG out or FSG in. No, I'm one of these guys that just wants a good team with good players and a coach that's happy. And if the coach is happy, then I'm happy. But it's apparent. It's very apparent that the coach highlighted the central midfield area for him to feel the need to create a new role for Gravenberch, for him the need to feel kind of marginalized Endo, and openly said he didn't give him any minutes in pre-season, Like as in he wasn't his first choice in pre-season, and that was an eye opener. And then he hasn't obviously given him many minutes in the season so far. And look, I love Endo as a person, as a character, as a personality, and the job he's done. Absolute full respect. But when the coach and you're a senior player, a senior member, does that to you in the opening couple of months of his tenure, then the writing is on the wall. And the fact that we weren't able to improve the area that he highlighted, not me, not you, not YouTube content creators, not people on Twitter, but the manager, the coach, a new coach, when he's come in and kind of made that point without actually making it, verbally, like in front of everyone, because he's not that kind of guy. Managers don't do that. I think it's disappointing. But as you said, the season is exciting. We still have got a fantastic squad. Young players, attacking players, vibrant players. We've still got absolutely iconic players in Virgil, Alisson, Salah, Trent. There's loads to be excited about, loads to be happy about. I just think we could have done just one or two signings more, just to give us that absolute boost going into the season, like a real rocket boost in terms of we're still boosted, we're still happy, and if we beat United, it will be an excellent start to the season as opposed to a solid start so far. And that's my thoughts on that.
Indeed, no, absolutely fair play. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I think you've balanced it out very, very well. I'm going to give you a little inside secret as well. So we know that Wataru Endo has his official channels in Japan, and he actually provides like vlogs and newsletters. These are 25 minutes all the way up to 45 minutes. So he's actually revealed a lot of his conversations and very, very personal stuff around the training at Liverpool, his conversations with Arne Slot, what's required of him and expected of him. And I think the overall perception, based on what he said and what Slot said, is actually very vastly different than what the UK media have said. And the reasoning behind that is because Arne Slot needs Gravenberch to be a ball facilitator, someone who can hold onto the ball long enough in the six to probe until the gap opens up when a Szoboszlai makes that run, when a Trent makes that run to play the ball through. So in certain stylistic matchups, you want an Endo to come in when you're under the cosh, when it's an absolute dogfight in midfield. You're thinking of your Chelseas with your Caicedo and Enzo ballers. You're thinking against Man City. Do you remember when he shackled De Bruyne? And, when you're having an Odegaard or De Bruyne running through your lines, you're going to want someone, Endo, to be man marking him and absolutely harrying him and harassing him. So against the teams where you're expected to have done possession, you want that ball playing six who can facilitate the attacking phase of it. And as a positional player, him and Maka, Gravenberch and Maka, is sufficient enough to guard the back line. Endo will come in when you're more of a kind of dog feisty fight where he just gives a short ball to McAllister, gives a short ball to a Szoboszlai and lets them do what they need to do. And I think what we have with Zubimendi is an opportunistic role. When he comes in, he would allow the kind of fulcrum and the basis of the short ball playing to be extended either way, which will allow the Gravenberch further forward and McAllister further forward. But what you have with the current Slot that Feyenoord also had, and previously as at Alkmaar, is Slot absolutely loves different functions for the role. So Gravenberch is very different than an Endo, who's very different than a Zubimendi. Like a Gakpo is different to a Lucho Diaz. A Salah is very different to a Chiesa, for example. A Minte and a Paixão at Feyenoord, the wingers, are very, very different. So I saw it, and what Endo saw it as even if Zubimendi comes in, they are all there for a different function. And then the second lineup, the second team like Los Palmas and Sevilla, is for the fact that you need these kind of senior experienced pros to give the youngsters the opportunity to impress in pre-season, because when he wins the ball, who's going to get the ball off him? It's going to be the youngsters. Give them a platform and a basis to show what they can do. You have your Curtis Jones and your Elliott in that lineup as well, because they're the figureheads of the youth system. They are the inspiration, right? Elliott's come through the ranks. Curtis Jones has come through the ranks, and we can make it and break into the first team. And absolutely fair play. If the starting lineup is Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister, they've done their job. They've won 2 out of 2. They've kept a clean sheet. But I think during the course of the season, managers like Slot have a role for like the veteran players, like a Ferguson brought on a Park Ji-sung, a Darren Fletcher. They're very important parts. Conte used a Victor Moses at right wing back. Conte and Mourinho love the elder players, the 30-year-olds as well. And they were big parts of their title-winning squads as well. So I'm completely of the opinion, squad game, very important squad player. And there's no benefit of a financial outlay to get rid of him. Even if Zubimendi came in, he would still be a prominent part, especially in the cup rounds, to give the youngsters a platform to win the game for you.
No, absolutely. Look, I absolutely respect and appreciate, everything that you said. Again, I appreciate. I'm on a channel that's probably a lot of pro Endo fans in here, and as I said, I've got the utmost respect for him. Utmost. I would never, ever, ever belittle or criticize him in terms of his attitude, and he's been an absolute role model for the youngsters, the ultimate professional, a leader. In maybe not vocally, but in terms of how he's handled himself around the squad and the club. And look, only time will tell. The rest of the squad game theory is right, but whether Endo gets enough game opportunity for him to be satisfied, let's see. I have my doubts. But as I said, he's absolutely vital squad member now. He's here. He's not going anywhere. So we have to support him. I'm a massive believer in supporting whoever plays in that shirt. You support. Indeed. You don't have to be a fan of every player. You don't have to rate every player. We all have our opinions sat in our bedrooms and in our conservatories, in our in our wherever we are, because that's what we do. We give our opinions. But in terms of being a supporter of a club, the essence is in the word support. And we absolutely support every time someone wears a shirt. Look, only time will tell if it was a mistake not improving that midfield area or the centre-back area. But right now, as of literally the last day of the transfer window, and because I've been bombarded with questions and everything else,
I can imagine,
I'm a little bit deflated from that aspect, because I know from various people that I speak to that we have made a lot of inquiries, and how we weren't able to sort of turn that into concrete bids or convincing them. I'm slightly deflated. But hey, as I said, once the window slams, there's football to think about, there's games to think about,
Absolutely.
and we have a wonderful squad to support.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, if we were at a party and there was a raffle, right? 20 teams in the Premier League, and you drew Liverpool out of the hat, you would not be disappointed, right? You got a 1 in 3. Imagine if you drew Man United, you'd be so deflated.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, as I said, expectations are high, and excitement is high. And as I said, with the signing of Chiesa, with the signing of Slot himself, and the new team, and the way we're playing so far, there's loads to be positive about.
Absolutely. Well said, my man. And on that note, thank you so much for coming. I think so many of my fans watch your live streams as well. They actually demanded you come on here, which is why I reached out. So big up, Grizz Khan. What you got coming up? Anything exciting?
No, first and foremost, that's absolutely humbling to hear. Thank you so much. You've been so kind to me in the words that you uttered about me. I'm not worthy at all. But again, it's amazing, brilliant stuff. I really enjoyed our chat. And yeah, moving forward, I've been a bit lazy on my channel for the last 6 months, or about 3 months. I've just started again, starting doing some content, and yeah, we'll be back. We do live post-match reactions. I do live instant post-match reactions from the grounds as well, from my car. Everyone seems to like that, just from the car. As soon as I get back to the car, even though I'll be sweaty sometimes, but but people seem to have liked it. And yeah, I'm just a small channel trying to grow. But yeah, if people enjoy my content, I'm absolutely humbled, and I have no doubts that me and you will be doing some great content moving forward as well. So people, keep supporting this brother. He's doing amazing work, and we're going to be, if he's enjoyed my company and our chat, of course, we will do many more together collaborations, because that's what it's about, helping each other, growing the LFC community, whether it's Japan, Asia, Africa, Europe, wherever. We help each other. We try to emulate each other and elevate each other and help each other grow, and that's what I love to see.
Well said, my man. Growth drives growth. There's enough LFC for everyone, and when Liverpool win, we're all happy at the end of the day. So it's a beautiful thing. Cool, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Until next time, guys. Janet, peace. And there we have it. Hope you guys enjoyed that collaboration you've asked for him, Mr. Grizz Khan. What a gentleman, what a lovely lad. Make sure to subscribe to his channel as well. Fantastic content, great chill vibes. The man is a legend. Much blessings and love. And to celebrate this collaboration, I have to open myself a piece of kit, because you know me, I love my kit. So let's see what we got. It's purple, it's got a zip, it ain't a shirt. And I could have done with this during typhoon weather. However, let's see what we got. I really could have done with this during typhoon weather. It's like a windbreak, isn't it? It's like a windbreaker. Sudut, smooth as you like. Open this up. Whip the night top on. It's a mesh. It's medium size. It smells fresh as a daisy. Although I like my lavender. There we go. Miyazaki man side. Liverpool fan in Japan looking the part. Get the hood on and make sure you subscribe to Football Khanage, Grizz Khan. My honoured guest. I'm sure we'll be chatting again soon. Until next time, stay safe. Konbanwa means good evening. And always remember, Miyazaki-gan Ichiban. Because Miyazaki-gun means Miyazaki Army.
Liverpool fan in Japan.